There's no way to put an intro on today's video, so I'm gonna play the one that I have here.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to Locked On Blues. I'm your host of Locked On Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about the St. Louis Blues here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3 free-week trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. I have honestly filmed this. This is maybe about my 10th time now. I get to the 10-minute mark and I just have to restart because I've been struggling to film this actually. News was confirmed this morning. I'm going to say around 7:30 a.m. Eastern time that Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew Gaudreau were both killed by a motor vehicle while riding bicycles. This could have been prevented. Allegedly, the driver of the vehicle was under the influence. He's in jail right now. But yeah, I just want to say a quick little PSA before I get into talking about Johnny Hockey and Matthew. If you had one drink even and you feel like you're not 100% yourself, you feel like it's not the best situation for you to get into a vehicle and drive, or if you had multiple drinks and call an Uber, call a Lyft. If that's too expensive, phone a friend. And if no one's able to get you anything, ask a stranger for help. I am sure if you say to somebody, I had too much to drink, I can't drive, somebody will help you get home. It is not worth it. It's not worth it to get into a vehicle because this is real life. People died. It's it's hard to put into words. I do a podcast every day here on Locked On Blues where I talk about hockey every single day, and I love talking about hockey. And then I do this myself even as a reporter for another hockey team as well. I'm highly invested in the hockey world, right? And sometimes I forget that these players can be people too in a sense, right? They're not just salary, contracts, numbers. They're people with real lives and they're not immortal. And I feel like sometimes maybe we look at athletes that way, but the point that I'm trying to make is that two lives were taken away last night. And I know as a hockey community, we're all grieving because you definitely watch one of Johnny's goals before and you just saw the big smile that he would have and just the energy that he would bring to the ice. And, you know, Blues fan, any type of fan, I'm sure that you can, you know, just picture it right now of him, scoring. I know I can. Here's the thing. Um, I live in Philadelphia and Johnny grew up in South Jersey and, he he has played hockey all throughout the area growing up as a kid and everyone knew who he was. It was one of those things, you know, and I was talking to my dad about this actually this morning. He called me during work and he was like, "Yeah, like we all thought one day he would play for the Flyers when he got, you know, good and older and, things like that." Um we all here in Philadelphia thought he was going to play for the Philadelphia Flyers and it's a very weird feeling. Like I know people that have played hockey with him. I just always have remembered, him, right? Um, Not a lot of people from Philadelphia or South Jersey, I should say, surrounding area that make it to the NHL. Anyways, his brother Matthew played for the Philadelphia Flyers' ECHL team, the Reading Royals, and he played there from 2019 to 2020. There's more that I'm going to get into about Johnny Hockey and the impact that he had. But I want to read to you a statement from the Columbus Blue Jackets, who did confirm the news around 7:30 a.m. this morning Eastern time, and I just want to read you what they had to put out. The Columbus Blue Jackets are shocked and devastated by the unimaginable tragedy. Johnny was not only a great hockey player, but more significantly, a loving husband, father, son, brother, and friend. We extend our heartfelt sympathies to his wife, Meredith, his children, Noah and Johnny, his parents, their family, and friends for the sudden loss of Johnny and Matthew. Johnny played the game with great joy, which was felt by everyone that saw him on the ice. He brought a genuine love for hockey with him everywhere he played, from Boston College to the Calgary Flames to Team USA and the Blue Jackets. He thrilled fans in ways only Johnny Hockey could. The impact he had in our organization and our sport was profound, but pales in comparison to the incredible impression he made on everyone who knew him. Johnny embraced our community when he arrived 2 years ago, and Columbus welcomed him with open arms. We will miss him terribly and do everything that we can to support his family through the tragedy. Um, Johnny was 31 and Matthew was 29. Both of the brothers were supposed to serve as groomsmen in their sister Katie's wedding on Friday, which is today. There is no words to describe the impact and how upsetting this whole situation is. Um, Gary Bettman put out a statement. The National Hockey League family is shocked and saddened by the tragic passing of Columbus Blue Jackets Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew. While Johnny's infectious spirit for the game and show-stopping skills on the ice earned him the nickname Johnny Hockey, he was more than just a dazzling hockey player. He was a doting father and beloved husband, son, brother, and teammate who endeared himself to every person fortunate enough to have crossed his path. Per ABC 6 in Philadelphia and New Jersey State Trooper confirmed Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau were killed when a vehicle hit them while they were riding their bikes around 8:30 p.m. Thursday night. The driver of the vehicle is suspected of being under the influence of alcohol at the time of the crash. Both brothers, who were New Jersey natives, have been in the area to be groomsmen in their sister Katie's wedding that was scheduled for today. Johnny played hockey at Boston College from 2011 to 2014. He helped the Eagles win a national championship during the 2011-2012 season and awarded the Hobie Baker Award as the top men's player in the country in the 2013-2014 season. The Calgary Flames originally selected Gaudreau in the fourth round of the 2011 NHL draft. He was signed his ECHL. The point is that it is real. I hate switching it like this. I do. But I do have a couple ads that I need to read throughout today's episode. I'm still going to talk some blue stuff, okay? I just wanted to address this. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon at a market game. All you need is a Google account and a current firm of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Join FanDuel.com and download America's #1 sports book. So I always tell you about the Cardinals, and right now the Cards are kind of like a hot mess. Um, they were they were actually doing pretty good for a little while. I was actually a little bit surprised, but you know how it goes sometimes. Now they're just at 500 with 67 wins, 67 losses, and the Cubs are now above them. But I mean, that's the name of the game, right? You knew catching up to the Brewers was going to be difficult. The Cardinals, however, today play the Yankees in New York for a 3-game series. The Cardinals, they did win their series against the Padres, which was good. So, good for them. So, I would use my FanDuel account, and I would maybe not take the Cardinals tonight. I would maybe take the Yankees because the Yankees have Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge is really good. I know Tommy Pham. I know there's a lot going on with the Cardinals. I know, kind of a mess, but hey, why not? Okay. I promise you I am gonna talk some Blues. I really am. But there's one more thing I want to address with Johnny Hockey, and that is his friend, Kevin Hayes. Kevin Hayes used to play for us, and I've talked about him numerous times on this podcast, but about hockey, not about him non-hockey. I thought about Kevin Hayes with this news. Obviously, I thought of, you know, Johnny and Matthew's family first, but I still thought of Kevin Hayes. Kevin Hayes and Johnny, they both played at BU together. They not Boston College, my bad. They both played together. They were best friends. Johnny was involved with Kevin's wedding, whole thing. The losses that Kevin Hayes has had between his late brother Jimmy a few years back and now Johnny hits hard. This episode, and I do apologize if this episode is a little choppy, if there's silence at times. I am having a difficult time finding words to say. Um, However, besides Kevin, I want to mention his teammates on the Blue Jackets, his teammates in Calgary, his teammates at Boston, his friends, and most importantly, his family and his wife, Meredith, and his kids, Noah and Johnny. As I said, sometimes there's more to life than hockey. And I think sometimes maybe we take life for granted. Tell people you love them. You know, this whole tragedy has really just hit hard. But I- just that's what it is. It's hard, okay? It's life and it's hard. Every time I go on social media, I have to turn it off because it's you just see things. Columbus is honoring him right now. I believe outside of their arena. You can put flowers, hockey sticks, however you want to commemorate him. Calgary posted something too with him on the Jumbotron honoring him. While while I do have this time on this podcast, I know I said this earlier. Please just be responsible with driving, especially if you know someone's under the influence, tell them not to do it. I know I said for you personally, but if you see something and you see somebody leaving a bar that you just think doesn't look right, please say something, speak up, do something so things like this can be prevented. The hockey community suffered a loss today, and it's going to sting for a while. It's really hard to put into words, and as I said, I had something completely different for today's episode of Locked On Blues, but, you know, it makes me think, how can I talk about, a possible regular season scenario of the Blues when somebody who was very impactful in our community lost their life this tragically. I mean, anytime somebody loses their life, I just wanna say it is tragic and sad and heartbreaking, but they were riding bicycles. They were riding bicycles on the eve of their sister's wedding. And I think a lot of us maybe can relate in a sense because we've maybe ridden bicycles before, or we've just something so innocent, riding a bicycle. And then in a split second, again, eh, it's hard to put into words and so many people impacted. And it's, the whole family is just in my prayers. I just want to put that out there again. Just now, a statement was put out, um, a family statement from Jim, father. Last night, we lost two husbands, two fathers, two sons, two brothers, two sons and brother in laws, two nephews, two cousins, two family members, two teammates, two friends who were truly amazing humans. We want to let everyone know we are receiving your messages of love and support, and we appreciate your continued thoughts and prayers. We ask for your continued respect and privacy during this very difficult period from all our families at the bottom of our hearts. So that's the family statement. I think that, you know, we see everyone coming together, people in the, MLB even put out a statement, all over sports, honestly. And I think that this is just one of those things that was just such a real moment that all of us kind of just came together in a sense. And, you know, um, yeah, so right now it does say suspected drunk driver. So that's the phrasing that's being used. The suspected drunk driver, by the way, his name is Sean Higgins. He was charged. But I just want to, before I talk some things about the Blues, I just want to share this photo of Johnny and Matthew on my screen here. All right, thank you. I just wanted to pay some respects. All right, I'm going to talk to you about game time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching throughout thousands of tickets. Listen, one thing I love about Game Time Picks is that it does show you the best absolute deals for the best seats. It's literally taking the best of Game Time and making it its own feature. So, this is what it does, right? The super deal, the seat views before you pay, and the lowest price guarantee. They also have event cancellation protection, job loss protection, and even more. One thing I love about Game Time, though, in general, is that the app is so easy to navigate. If you were even traveling to a different city, and let's go say you're in St. Louis, but you want to see what's going on in Chicago for when the Blues play the Blackhawks, you can actually select Chicago to be your city on the Game Time app, and you can just switch back and forth. So it makes it super easy to navigate. So this is what you need to do because Game Time Picks makes it easier to save more in sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more all in pricing. Truly the best thing ever. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Game time. If I'm being honest with you, usually on Fridays, I do a segment called Are We Feeling Blue? Where I say, was this a good week or a bad week for the St. Louis Blues? However, I don't feel like it's appropriate to say that today. So I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do with talking about the Blues is express to you uh, how important our hockey community here in St. Louis is. You know, I saw Jordan Kyrou share something today, and I've seen some other players share things um, about the tragic incident that took place. In St. Louis, we pride ourselves of being, huge hockey fans and a hockey city. And we really do band around each other. And I think that's what makes us so special. And I could sit here and tell you, why I'm excited about the season ahead, but I have plenty of other episodes to do that. However, I want to say this. Doing this podcast, did I think that I would have to ever do an episode literally hours after a tragedy happened? No, I didn't. But I see your tweets. Okay. I, you know, I see what you're posting about a player that didn't play for your team. I see your tweets. You know, there are a lot of people on Twitter that maybe don't know my account here, my Blues account at least, but I am seeing all that you're tweeting. And, you know, there's not even words to describe what that even means. Our very own Chris Pronger said, woke up to this. Wow, gutted for, his family. Um, Leah on Twitter, you know, basically I can't say all the words. Um, but just, don't drink and drive. Robert Thomas, our star tank, um, basically said he's sharing the love. I see things from Justin Scott. I see things everywhere, right? Um, that's what community is. Community is standing by each other, and something special here in St. Louis and all of hockey, not just St. Louis, but all of hockey. I was actually going to talk about today about how I felt like Jordan Kyrou was going to do this season. Again, I know not appropriate to do that, but why do I bring that up? Because even when Jordan Kyrou was having kind of a tough time, he said some things, the community ended up sticking by his side and supported him. And that's what you're doing right now on social media. I see it. And I know today's episode isn't, the typical Locked On Blues podcast. And I mentioned I've been filming for the past hour trying to do the intro, which I couldn't do, but I felt like it was only fair to dedicate today's episode to Johnny and Matthew. And I want to end this episode on this. Again, tell people you love them. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell anybody. Life is too precious. So with that being said, I will talk to you on Monday. I will talk to you about all things Blues on Monday. I'll talk to you about Jordan Kyrou, and I know today's episode was somber. I just couldn't bring myself to talk about a potential scenario of the season, w with all this going on. It just kind of didn't feel right to me, and I apologize for that if you again, I know this is a blues podcast, very aware of that. I just could not bring myself to film something um, that I didn't feel like I could actually, film today. So, that being said, if you have any memories of Johnny or Matthew, or you just wanna share some support, I would love to see what you say in the comments about them. If maybe there is a game that you saw them play in or a moment, um, or just if you have a resource for people if they're impacted to drive and I don't know, just look out for each other. This is a community, and I hope that this is a space where you feel comfortable maybe to share how you feel. So, no, you don't have to. I'm just putting it out there that I was at a loss for words. I still am. Honestly, I don't know how this is even possible. It just doesn't make sense. But however, I do love you all very much, all that are in this community, this hockey community, and I will talk to you on Monday. Let's go Blues.